And we have Demrick joining us today to talk about his new record, Ooowee, which he's just announcing, but it's not coming out till the fall. Can you give us some background? You signed with an effable music group. Why was that the perfect fit for you?
I think I have been just always going to those like the different kind of like reggae festivals and things, and kind of like from being out here in LA, being cool with B-Real, Cyphers, and all that stuff. I've been to a lot of those events, seen a lot of those bands, met a lot of band members, and just really enjoy the scene in general. So, and I see that there is some hip hop there, and it's a bunch of like dope, lyrical, energetic, cannabis based type shit. And I felt like that was a good home for me, especially at this point in my career.
Yeah, you have these festivals like Cali Vibes, Cali Roots, and it's not out of the ordinary to see the Cypress Hill, Ice Cube, Wiz Khalifa, Wu Tang up there on the lineup. What do you think about the what is it about the pairing of hip hop and reggae that seems to pair so well together?
I mean, I'm somebody that, loves, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, all kinds of different reggae acts. And so I feel like the parallel is like a lot of the messaging, uh, and even some of the new acts, stick figures and things of that nature, like is like it's a lot of freedom based stuff, cannabis, good vibes, good energy, and I feel like that pairs with hip hop as far as like people like to pop their shit. Hip hop has a lot of vibrato in it, a lot of
Mhm.
braggadocious element to it, and I don't feel like reggae really has that element in it. But some of the core things I feel like line up really good with hip hop.
I think both genres, especially tie into the lifestyle and the lifestyle, like West Coast hip hop is like, it is so synonymous. And then you have this West Coast movement, Sublime, Stick Figure, Slightly Stupid, Dirty Heads, all these groups that sort of brought up that tied in that lifestyle and that culture into the music. So they're sort of ingrained.
Exactly, bro. You hit the nail right on the head, man.
So that you musically, I've always felt like you sort of musically float between genres. Obviously, what you do is so hip hop based, but I don't think you could be out of place on any of those festivals.
Yeah, exactly. I started to look at the landscape, right? And just kind of think like to myself, like I fit better on that lineup than I might a Rolling Loud. We're gonna show up and do what we do wherever, they want us to be. It's about the fans at the end of the day, right? But I think that I can see a home there. Yeah, I see my place in it. So it's exciting.
But I don't think you feel out of place there, or like you're playing Rhyme Fest, and Rhyme Fest is like a true hip hop festival. Like there's not very many of those left.
Man, isn't that so cool, man? And that's so dope that Rhyme Fest is in LA. It really pushing the authentic, hip hop and putting the ground zero where it still has to do with lyrics and the content and what's being said and your ability to perform. The real architect, the artifacts of hip hop still being pushed on a big scale because that's at the LA Coliseum. I've seen that festival grow and turn into what it is now, and it's just good to see that people are coming out supporting that kind of music, and it lets me know that whatever is the mainstream thing at the time, like there's always like that underground culture brewing and representing, and there's people that love that as well.
And I think the people that organize that festival as well are like they're true hip hop heads. Like they're students of the game.
Exactly, bro. That's it.
So tell us about the new record Ooey, what can we expect? Like you dropped a couple tracks from it.
I mean, it, I wanted to like what I was thinking when I was making Ooey with my producer homies, the Undefeated, was like minimalistic beats and just bars, just lyrics, content. What am I talking about? What am I going through in life right now? Like, what do I want to say? Like, basically, if I was gonna do a bunch of, if I was gonna go around and do a bunch of freestyles over original tracks and stuff like that, like, what messaging do I want to get across? What do I want to say?
Mhm.
And so with this album, I touch on relationship stuff. I talk about like what I think about the climate of the world. I talk about what I think about internet culture. I pop all kind of shit, about where I'm at in life. And I think it's very well rounded, and you're gonna get to know Demrick on there. I'm talking a lot in between. I wanted it to play almost like a mixtape in the sense of the mixtape era, where it's like you really got an opportunity to get to know the artist and the personality. So even from the interludes or just the skits in the beginning and the ends of songs, really just speaking to people, letting my true authentic personality out there so it can find a home with people that resonate with it.
I think lyrically, you've always been paid attention to, what you want to say and how you want to say it are sort of equally important on the record.
Man, for real. And you've been around. You heard my music for a while now, my boy.
And like that's what I always loved about you is like you're paying attention to words, cadence, flow, like all those things tie together when and I think they're equally important. But some of the new school guys, I don't think they pay attention to those fine details, and that's what separates you from them, I think.
Yeah, and I think over time it's about finding your voice and your message and your purpose, right? And so you can ask a room of people why they're doing it, why they're doing music, and everybody's got a different answer, 9 times out of 10. I think with me, it was about finding my voice and what I wanted to say to the people and delivering that as best as possible, and repetition and writing for so long and really getting down to the point of being able to express myself is, I think, what I'm most proud of about Ooowee, and just even most proud about myself as an artist in this version of myself is my ability to articulate my feelings.
Would you say how would you say the evolution from record to Ooey from the previous record? Like, is it about constantly leveling up? Like, where do you see that evolution?
For sure, definitely about constantly leveling up and expressing myself in a better way that's can connect with people. Understanding that a lot of the things that I'm going through in life and that I'm seeing and that we're all seeing, because we're all subjected to the same. We're all seeing different things on the algorithm, but we're essentially getting fed the same stuff, right? And I think my way of being authentic with expressing how I'm feeling about all this will find a home of people that resonate with that feel the same way that I do. So I feel like I'm not just speaking for myself, even though I'm sharing my thoughts through song with other people. I feel like I'm speaking for a group of people that can connect with the messages that I'm putting in there. And I think through repetition and album, just getting better at doing that. In the beginning, it was just about rocking a show. It's about having that hard hit beat and something catchy that people could bounce to at the concert. Because at that time, I was trying to get on tour. And there were still points in my life where even before that, you see videos that are out there of me like rapping for Dr. Dre and things like that, just raw rapping, just trying to prove that I'm the best. And I think as you evolve through the things, you start to level up as you go through it, that you find your voice even more. It's like I'm still rapping. I still have the want to be strive for greatness every time. That's what pushes my pen and my lyrics and pushes me to make these albums. It's my purpose outside of it being my therapy and something I do for me. I still, it's like the Hooper, still want to be out there on the court and still show that you got it. So I possess that energy But at the same time, I understand that the music is bigger than me, because before I had fans and people sending me messages saying, "Oh, I relate to this," or "This song got me out of a dark time," or this, and you meet people that I met on tour, that have lyrics tatted, and you explaining what my songs meant to them. Then you try really start putting your finger on what the purpose of making this music is, and it's a community thing. I'm making it be how I feel for everybody. And I say that's the biggest growth that I continue to strive, is to connect with people more and more through my music.
Do those moments where you see those people on tour, they have a tattoo, or they say your song, song lyrics, or they say that they're your song pulled them out of a dark place. Does that give you new purpose? And how do you process that? Because like, what words do you come up with that, like, if your song helps somebody out of a dark place, how do you respond to that? There's not really any words that you can use to justify it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I first off, I just congratulate them that that it moved forward for them, and then I'm thankful that song or that thing helped them, and I'd be like, help me too. You know what I'm saying? help, help me too, man. So I'm glad that I'm grateful, I'm thankful, and it did, like I said, it made me understand the purpose of making music, because when I started out in the cipher, or the way that just started falling in love with rapping, what was a very me thing. I wanted to be the dopest in the cipher. I wanted to have the attention to be the best rapper. I wanted to write the best verse in the studio that had everybody like, oh,
Mhm.
that's where it started. And then over time, you realize that these words can really help. And I think that you understand over, like, as you meet people like that, you also understand the power of what you say, and the responsibility that comes with it. So we're still having fun with it for sure. We didn't take the fun out of it, but we understand what we're doing here. That's how I feel.
You mentioned the algorithms though, and you've been in this game for a while now, but over the last 10 years, it's changed dramatically. Algorithms are powering everything. How do you change your approach to releasing new music? Like, when it comes time to drop a new single, like, you got Tina Turner out now that you're pushing. Like, do you pay attention to those details, and how does it alter, I guess, your release strategy?
I mean, it's ever evolving, right? Like, it's different now than it was last year. I think that it's really about getting with the right team and strategizing a plan that works for you. I don't think in this version of the internet there's no right or wrong way to do it, because people can get on through the mysterious vibe and not really posting, and people get on through the posting every day. I think for artists it's about finding their flow, how they want to build with their people, creating real connections. Like, that straight to fan stuff is real big now. Like, really knowing your fans, knowing who likes you, like damn near by name,
Mhm.
who's really with you. I think is more important now, and that's always been important, but it's been more. I think it's get more as things get more diluted and attention is harder to have. That's more important than now. So right now, for me, it's about the artist to fan connection. Really building with them and making sure that I'm hitting the target with the people that support me. Uh, a year ago, I might have been different. I was releasing a lot of music. I It's just ever evolving. I make a lot of music, and I also don't want to. I plan on being here for more years. A lot more years. But God forbid anything happens. I never wanted to be the artist where all of my music, my thoughts, and my vibes, and my me is me expressing myself was left on a laptop somewhere,
Mhm.
left on a hard drive somewhere. Like, I want to be somebody discover my music 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, the same way that I discovered dope ass artists from the 70s that nobody really knew of, like hidden gem, uh, and you can't really get there by leaving all your work, not putting your work out, leaving it all on your computer or whatever. So I've always released a lot of music. And I think that shout out Ineffable. I really built with them on a good strategy and a plan to create a medium where you really market yourself correctly and make sure that you get the songs out there that you love, but you're also consistent because attention spans are so short now, and you never know. It'd be a song from 3 years, 5 years, that blows up. It'd be the one that you drop your second single and you put out four more singles, and then that second one is catch the fire when the album drops. You just don't know. So you got to put the music out, but you got to be smart about it. You got to be proud of your work. You got to promote your work. And with all the noise on the internet right now and the algorithms, you really have to push your work unless the fans love you for that mysterious shit. You just don't know, man. I see some artists that are popping that a lot of people love and they barely post anything. And it's just not like that for every artist. So you got to find your flow, your connection with the fans, and run it up.
It's not enough to be an artist anymore. You also have to be like a content creator to a certain extent.
Exactly. And finding what works and not giving up and uh, being willing to put in the effort and understand that content, at least the way that I look at it, is just another way of sharing my art, right? And it just comes. You got to put in more work. Fuck, you can't. Yeah, the work never stops, man. But shit, you want to be great at anything, you're gonna have to work at it. So I never run from work.
So tell us about the heavy hitters you got on this record, because you got a bunch of different heavy hitters on this record. You got Xzibit, B-Real, Coyote, Gone, like it's crazy.
Yeah, well, obviously, shout out B-Real and Exhibit, my serial killer brothers. Those guys right there have been staples in my career for a long time. They really helped open doors for me along the way. We dropped four projects together, multiple collaborations. So it's really cool to get them on Ooowee because I had a specific, like the songs that I have them on are really tailored for them because this project is unique in the sense that a lot of beat switches, a lot of vibes. You might put on one song and there's three different pieces to it. So there's like a musical journey that you go on, not just within the album, but on this record with the songs, just keeping it fresh, keeping it energized. So I felt like funny Fried Chicken Friday, like putting Be Real on that beat, that section of music, like really highlighted him in a cool way. And then I can't wait for people to hear the next single, which is with me and X called. And what's that next single called? I don't know why I've drawn a blank right now, but the next single that I have with X is a great one. Oh, called Quarter Key. I feel like that beat, that production, what he's saying on there, what I'm saying on there is a really great blend of a Demrick version, but with them in mind. And then obviously the Coyotes are making waves out here in LA, really dope. Duo. Uh, they kill it lyrically, super cool dudes, and happy to get one in with them. And I have a couple records that I've done with Khan. Uh, in the past, and I feel like we really hit the nail on the head. I'm gonna say that again with Tina Turner. It's a really cool record. We just shot a video for it, and I'm just excited, man. And then even my homie Vu, man, shout out Vu. He's an up and coming dude. That's new. His vocal tone is crazy. So I got him on two records. So I feel like I did a well round. A couple of my OGs, couple of my new dudes that I've been collabing with, or first time collabors, and then an artist that I believe in as well. And I think that's a really cool way to do this album.
When you're talking about collabs and how they come about, is it just like catching a vibe, or do you instantly think, oh, this one's for Exhibit, this one's for Be Real, or is it just sort of uh,
Now, we really, I tailored the thought. Like I was like, yo, like if you listen to Fried Chicken Friday, like it's literally the beat switches three times, and as soon as that third beat hit, I originally had a verse on there. And I was like, man, you know who need to rap on this. I know who need to rap on it. Be real, gotta put a verse on this, man. So I hit him up and I sent it to him to check out, and he hit me back like with the fire emojis and shit. So I already knew what was happening. And then he smashed the verse. And then with I think I kind of tailored all the songs, when like I would hear them on, but I'm not really like the kind of dude that like if I don't know you or got some kind of relationship with you or a big fan of you, then I'm not really tripping off collaborating with you. I'm always open to meet people and build, but most of the collaborators that I've worked with have been friends of mine or I'm legitimate fans of them. Straight up.
you mentioned serial killers, obviously your project with Exhibit and Be Real. What can you tell us? Is there more serial killers on the way after this? Are you always thinking one record ahead, or
Yeah, we got a new album done, completely done. It'll be our fifth project. And yeah, it's completely done. Produced by Scoop DeVille entirely, man. Scoop
wow?
snapped on there, gave us a fire sound. Uh, and I can't wait for people to hear it. And that's what will be next after Ooowee.
Oh wow! So then, you're enjoying like a viral moment, and coming back to the algorithm thing, you're enjoying a viral moment with Runway Walk on TikTok. What can you tell us about this recording sessions for that song? Was there like when it came together? Did you know that like it was gonna become this thing?
Nah, hell nah, because that's just an old ass song. That song's like 16 years old or something like that. 15 years old, I think. 2000. I think
2014, I think.
that's when it went up on thing, but I think it's for 2012.
Oh wow!
And so that's just one of those things where the internet's just interneting. TikTok is something that nobody had no control of. So with that, it was like something that was just made for basically for television and film. I do a lot of stuff for sync and stuff, and that was the beginning stages of doing some music for that. And that thing just took a life of its own. I don't really have I really don't have a lot to say about that because I didn't really don't feel like I had shit to do with it.
So what was the moment, or is there a moment you can pinpoint where you were like, oh shit, this is happening?
Well, I did a TikTok to it that's got like close to 1 million views on there, and then I noticed that somebody did a drawing to it. They did a drawing to the audio, and the drawing just cracked off. Like I said, it's weird. It's beyond my level of understanding.
So you're it just organically happened then?
Somebody just if you really pinpoint it, I can look back and see where the first TikTok blew up. Like started. Obviously, I was like, damn, my shit is going crazy, which made me take a look into it, and I looked at the sound, and I realized if you just look at it, somebody just drawing something. They're like draw like a girl, and then it clips to her like looking back, and then this and that, and that shit just did it. So it doesn't really. That's why I said like I don't even know if that's about the song. Like that's the song is in. Obviously, people like the song, but that's just TikTok, man.
Well, so what's next for you? You have the Quarter Keys coming up. You're announcing the record. The record's coming out in the fall. Like, what's next on the horizon?
Well, what's next on the horizon is rolling out these singles, announcing the album, and dropping. I think we got Porter Key, and we got two more singles that we're gonna put out, and then releasing the record, which I'm super excited about. We're trying to put together, we're not trying, we're working on putting together some shows in some key markets to get out there in front of the fans and push it. Obviously, I got Rhyme Fest coming up August 16th. I'm still um, doing shows with X, so there's stuff on his schedule to help push his Kingmaker album. Just a lot of cool shit. You know, new Serial Killers album, merch, and just continuing to build it out.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I really hope that people pick up Ooey and check it out. It's a great hip hop record, but I think there's something for everybody there. And I think, like we talked about earlier, like there really is no genre lines anymore. It was like you can have a kid that listens to a Cypress Hill record and a Slipknot record or a Sublime record right afterwards.
Isn't that fucking dope, man? You know, it's cool that that music is moving like that, and people get introduced to a lot of different music just because from scrolling and things like that. So you might find yourself liking a record that you didn't even that you never heard in a whole different genre. You're like, damn, this shit caught my attention. It's kind of dope. That's the cool thing about the internet. That's the cool thing about the algorithm is I feel like everybody does have an opportunity to be heard, but it's if the music finds the right audience, uh, then it'll really take off. But you have the ability to be heard, and people are more eclectic with their song choices now. I think I was uh I was in Vegas over the Fourth of July weekend, and I was one of my friends' nieces was like had the Bluetooth speaker, right, and was playing music, and she had a whole playlist from 2010, 2011 hip hop. Like
Really?
she bumping everything from original Drake to Nelly's first shit. I'm like, damn, how you in this playlist like this? Like how is this where your mind is when you like 13 years old, right? And you're going and you're running a playlist that was cracking, back when I was getting out of, when I was out of high school and shit, just getting out of high school. And it's crazy how music can work like that. And that's what I say too about being able to be remembered, and you never know how she obviously got learned that from TikTok or wherever she got put onto that music, right? And she fell in love and then went and did her research, and I think that's cool.
I think the part that's cool about music discovery for young people now is like there's no preconceived notions. Like back in the day, we would we would absorb the artwork and things like that, but you'd also be your perception would be changed by like the source, double XL, like the magazines, and if something got a bad review, you might not even listen to that record. You were like, oh, it sucks. Like, you know what I mean? Like that they had that influence over you where some of those records that probably got bad reviews, like were fucking great records.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Yeah.
It did change, man. Shit.
Well, awesome, man. Well, like I said, I hope everybody has a chance to check out Ooey. Everything that I've heard so far is banging. So I appreciate you, man.
Hey, thank you, and I thank you for inviting me on this platform, and let's keep running it up, man.
Let's
Ooh.
let's go.